Hello everyone. Today we'll be looking into the time and place particle as I told in the last class. And the time and place particle is A. So if you want to look into the material that is given in the description box, it is page number 27. That is, it starts from page number 27 and you can look into it once you are done seeing this lesson or go through it while you are going through this lesson. So usually the time and place particle is used after the time and place words used in a sentence. And how that works, we'll see in detail now. So first we have some examples here that we can look into. The first one is 샘은 한국에 갔다. So Sam is a name here, and then you have un, a subject particle, and then 한국. So guk here is a suffix you would see commonly in when you're talking about soups and countries. So here it is a country because katta is coming here. Katta means went. So when you have went there, it's pretty much common sense to understand that, of course, you wouldn't be going to a soup. You would be eating or drinking a soup. So it's, of course, a country here. And Han is a very common prefix used to indicate something that's related to South Korea. And be very careful, South Korea. But then actually North Korea is called Bukhan. So there's also a Han coming there. So even though we say that Han indicates something related to South Korea, there's also a thing that Han can indicate anything Korean. But then be careful that once you learn numbers, you'll understand that Han or Hana also means one. But then again, we have two number systems in Korean. That is, one is a native Korean system, and another one is a Chinese-derived system called Sino-Korean. So we'll be going into the details of that when we learn about numbers. So I'll be skipping on that right now and we'll go to our example. So 샘은 한국에 갔다. That means Sam went to South Korea. So it's literally written like Sam to Korea went. That's how the sentence order works. So I'll be giving a detailed view into how the sentence order works when it comes to time and place particles at the end of the lesson. So stay tuned for that. The next example is 준수는 5월에 왔다. 준수는 5월에 왔다. So 준수 is a name, and here O is of course 5. War means month. War is a suffix used to indicate month, and A is the time and place particle here, like in 한국에. 왔다 means came. So 준수 came in 5th month. So you need to know the number of the months to say those months in Korean. So now here 5th month means May. So 준수 came in May. That's what is written here. The next example is a bit more longer one. 샘은 작년 10월 가을에 한국에 갔다. 샘은 작년 10월 가을에 한국에 갔다. So once again our subject is Sam. 작년, 작 is a prefix you would usually see to say last. Nyon is a suffix you would usually see to indicate year. So suppose you are saying year 2022. So you would say 2022년. See, you can see that nyon is coming there at the last. 2022년. E means 2. 천 means 1000. Once again, E is coming. 2020. So E. E means once again 2. Shib means 10. So you have E plus shib 20. Then last, once again you have E. That is once again 2. And then you have nyon there. So that's how binyan comes. So don't worry if you don't understand this. I'll be talking about this in detail when we come to the numbers chapter, as I told earlier. So back to our example. 작년 10월. 10월. So once again you have a number and 월 coming there, so it's a month. So 10, as I told earlier, is shib. But to say shib 월, it would be hard. So that's why when it comes to 10 and 월 together, it is pronounced as and written as shivol rather than shibwol. The same way yugwol also works. When we write 6 and wol, you don't read it or you won't write it as yugwol. Yug means 6. Because saying yugwol is really cumbersome. So what you would do is you would take the ga out of there and you would just say yugwol. It's much more easier. That's how it works. Once again, don't worry if you don't understand. We have a separate chapter for this and we will have a separate class for this. So back to our example. 가을. 가을 means autumn. So 가을에. So if you look into this, 작년, 10월, 가을. All these indicate time. While the next word, 한국, is place. So you can see here that you're talking about all the time words at first, and once you're done with all of them, you're finally attaching the time particle. And then you have just one word for place and you are attaching that. Or you can just say some place. 한국 남산에. Namsan is a Seoul Tower in Korea. It is very famous. It is in the capital of Korea, that is Seoul, and it is a very famous tourist attraction. Not just among tourists, it's also famous among citizens, especially people going out for a date and all. So you could say, 샘은 작년 10월 가을에 한국 남산에 갔다. You could say that. So that way, you would use the place particle once you are done with using all the place words. The same way you would use a time particle only after you are done with all the time words. And another thing to note here is that you talk about the time first and then about the place. So that's how it always works. So learning another thing about the sentence order here. And as to why I have underlined 한국에 and to Korea here is because here the A here is same as to in English. So the English translation of this would be Sam went to Korea last year in October during the autumn season. So went to Korea. So that to here is indicated by the A in the Korean version. So 샘은 작년 10월 가을에 한국에 갔다. Sam went to Korea last year October during the autumn season. The next one, once again our subject is 준수. So 준수는 2000년도 여름에 호주에 왔다. So 준수, then 2000 means, as I told earlier, 2000. 년 means year. 2000년도. So in the year 2000, Yoram means summer. Hoju means Australia. There are some rare countries which don't have cook in the end, because like for example, if we are talking about US, it would be migo. Then if you're talking about Britain, it would be Yongguk. If we are talking about Thailand, it would be Tegu. Like that, there are some set of countries which have cook at the end, but there is also another set of countries which do not have cook in the end. So having cook in the end is not compulsory for countries, but having cook at the end is almost 90 to 95% compulsory for soups, when you're talking about soups. Anyways, soup is not the matter here, so we'll go back to our example. 준수는 2000년도 여름에 호주에 왔다. So once again, 호주에 to Australia. Junsu came to Australia in the summer of 2000. So 2 and 2, even 2 and a, both indicate the same meaning here. So the next point you have to realize is that up until now, for the subject and the object particle, where and how they would be placed and which one would be used was dependent on the pachim, that means the last pachim of the word preceding that. And if you don't know what pachim is, I would advise you to go through the last classes, and all those classes are available in order in a playlist, and the link of that playlist is given in the description box. Anyways, coming back to the matter I was talking, so A, where you use it and how you use it is not dependent on the button at all. So that would be, I would say, pretty relieving for first-time Korean speakers and learners. The next thing is the same as I told earlier, to A. When it comes to place, when you're indicating location, A is used in place of to, as in English. Now you will be learning about another form of time and place particle. That is, if you are saying like for a certain period of time, I mean, you're not saying, but that's what you mean. To mean that you did something somewhere. We are concentrating on that somewhere. Somewhere for a certain particular period of time. So to indicate that is when you're talking about location, to indicate that you were at that place doing something for some period of time, is when you would use 에서 instead of A. So we have some examples here to make it easier for you. That is, 공원에서 놀았다. 공원 means park. So 공원에서 놀았다. It's very clear from the sentence that it is not a 1 minute thing. 공원에서 놀았다. 놀았다 means played. So if you're playing at a park, you wouldn't go there for a second and just return. You would play there for some time. And to indicate that time, 에서 is used instead of A. The next one is 영국에서 지냈다. So 영국 means Britain or England, both. Though in English, Britain and England don't mean the same, in Korean, it would mean the same. I mean, it would not mean the same, but you would use the same word to indicate both of them. So 영국에서 지냈다. 지냈다 means stayed. So, of course, when we talk about stay, it would be for a certain period of time. So in that case, eso would of course be used. The next one is 공항에서 기다렸다. Once again, 기다렸다 means waited. So when you're waiting for someone, it takes some time. And 공항 means airport. So you're saying that waited at the airport. So you waited at the airport for some time to indicate that eso would be used. But then when you are saying was, something was something at somewhere. When you are saying a sentence like that, suppose you are saying that you were at England, was or were, whatever it is. You were at England, or you were at the train station, or she was at the train station. Something like that. Something was or were. When you're meaning to say something like that, be it a or eso, it doesn't matter. Both of them mean the same. Suppose you're saying 영국에 있었다. 있었다 means just you were there, just that meaning. So was in Britain. 영국에서 있었다. 영국에 있었다. 영국에서 있었다. Both mean the same. And both are correct. And both would mean was in Britain. Now you would have some more examples. The first one is 시골에 갔다. 시골 means countryside. Something like you can say the suburbs, but it would mostly mean countryside rather than suburbs. But it is suburbs and countryside would mostly mean the same thing. Of course, it would change depending on the scenario. Anyways, 시골에 갔다, went to the countryside. Next one, 친구가 병원에 방문 왔다. 친구 means friend. 친구가, you have an identifier particle there. 병원 means hospital. 병원에 방문 왔다. 방문 means visit. 방문 means simply visit. 왔다 means came. So instead of saying 병원에 방문 왔다, you can also say that 친구가 병문안 왔다. So 병문안 means to visit someone sick, usually at the hospital. That's what it means. So instead of saying 병원에 방문 왔다, 병문안 is an option. So anyways, 친구가 병원에 방문 왔다 means a friend came to visit at the hospital. The next example is 집에 있었다 or 집에서 있었다. Both mean the same since you are saying was at home. 집 means home or house. The next one, 대학에서 강의를 들었다. So I might have told this earlier, but 학교 means school. So it's given here, 학교 means school. 대학교 means university or college. And 대학 is the same as 대학교. So both are the same. You could say that 대학 is a shortened version of 대학교. So anyways, 대학에서 강의를 들었다 means, 강의 means lecture. 들었다 means heard or listened. So 대학에서 강의를 들었다 means you listened, the subject is not here, so listened to the lecture at the college or university. Next one is 많은 사람들이 놀이공원에 왔다. 많은 means many or a lot. 사람 means person, 사람들 means people. 놀이공원 means anything like a theme park or some something like a huge park with a lot of facilities. That's what Norigongon would mean. Norigongone Watta came. So a lot of people came to the theme park. The next one is Achime Shiriorer Mogota. Achim means morning. Shirior is the same as cereal in Korean, in English, the same cereal that you eat. Mogota, ate. So suppose we are saying plays also here. So you say 아침에 거실에서 시리얼을 먹었다. 아침에 거실에 시리얼을 먹었다. That's how you would say. 거실 means living room. The next one, 오후 2시에 비가 내렸다. So once again you have a number here and do means 2. So the last time, a few minutes earlier I suppose, I told you that E means 2. Like E, do is also 2. Just that they both are from 2 different number systems. As I told earlier, 2 different number systems are commonly used in Korean. Only those 2 systems are there. So, dur is actually 2. But then, like yug and shib, and dur is all from the same number system. So, like yug and shib, the real at the end of dur, that is a real coming there as bachin, is removed for the ease of speaking or the ease of writing. Even when you write, you would never write durshi, you would always write dushi, because dushi is more easier to say. 오후 2시에 비가 내렸다. Or you could say 비가 왔다, it's the same thing. So 내렸다 means fall down or come down. Came down, since Sangshit is coming as Bachiniya, it would be Kwagoshije or past tense. Ohu means PM. So, unlike in English, be it AM or PM, you say that first before you talk about the time. The exact time. So, we have PM, 2 o'clock, rain, came. That's what is literally written here. So, it rained at 2 p.m. The English translation would be it rained at 2 p.m. B means rain and ga is the identifier particle here. So, how to say AM instead of PM? AM would be ojan. And PM and AM, it is the same time frame as in English. So now we will look into the plain or dictionary forms of the verbs that we saw up in the sentences up until now. So the first one, kada. Kada means go. That was what we saw as gatta. Oda, come. That is what we saw as watta. Norida, play. Once again, it was noratta. Jineda means stay. Once again, it was jinetta. Kidarida means wait. It was kidaryotta. Tutta means listen or hear. It was turotta. Mokta means eat. And it was mogotta. Nerida means come down or fall down, which we saw in the last example, and it was neryotta. Suppose we say, like the last example, we saw be or rain coming down or fall down. Another example is 차에서 내렸다. So cha can mean 2 things. One is tea, that is the tea we drink, and the other is car. So you can't say that tea came down. That would make no sense. So it is pretty clear that cha means car here. So there's a lot of words like this in Korean which mean different things but sound or are written the same. So 차에서 내렸다, came down from the car or came out of the car. So it can mean like that too. And now about sentence order, which I told you that I would talk about at the end of the class. So that is, if the subject is mentioned in the sentence, it would be at first, of course, as always. Then you would have the time and then the place. And if there is a certain object, that would be next. And as always, you would have the verb at the end. So it would be STPOV. That would be the order. So you are learning a new thing about sentence order too in this class. So I hope everything is clear. You can put in all your doubts in the comment box, and also you can make your own examples with the new words I have taught today and taught in the previous classes, or you can go over the internet, and if you are that passionate about studying Korean, you can find your own new words and make sentences with them and put them in the comment box. I'll be checking and replying to all of them personally. So hope you guys have a good weekend, and good luck studying the language. So see you guys in next class. Thank you.